Headbutted henman.
Always looks admirably calm. Says that he doesn't get nervous in these sort of situations.
Game, henman. Henman leads by 2 games, 2-1, first set.
And I think Bill Henman is going to have to remain absolutely calm today because the crowd is going to try and rouse him, and it could be a case of too much adrenaline.
Absolutely could. But then, remember, John, he came through that cauldron of fire on Sunday, and I can't believe that's going to happen again, perhaps never in his life. And looking at him from close in, he looked calm throughout. It was extraordinary. And he played a beautiful last point here, because I think he's faced with a difficult situation there. It's a low ball and a very tall man waiting to pounce, but he just steered that with a bit of back and side spin down the line. It was a very clever, restrained sort of shot, and the shot of a man who is calm within himself, who is at peace with himself. He looks it to me.
Time.
And the sun now playing a part as the shadow creeps across centre court.
Another calm pass here where Krajicek has to guess, and guess too late.
$15-all. 30-15.
No! Brilliant.
$40-15.
It's inevitable that you carve underneath this particular volley coming up, and he does it just perfectly, stopping the ball dead.
Game. Krajicek. Two games all, first set.
Well, my first thought here is that they both started very well. Neither man giving an inch, and both being tested and coming through the test.
$15-love.
And when you haven't played a man before, you try to read the intention of the serve by watching the toss, getting a clue from that.
Net, first service.
And as the match unfolds, you expect to see the returns becoming a little more consistent and the anticipation improving.
$30-love. 40 love. Game, henman. Henman leads by 3 games to 2, first set.
And krajicek unable to get any sort of feel on those returns. Henman winning his second love game, and from the same end as the first game of the match. And I'm wondering whether the duration of previous matches is going to have any effect, and whether Henman is going to be fresh, because he's played much more than krajicek. Krajicek's played about 5 3/4 hours to get here, but Henman 7 3/4 hours, so there's a big difference there. He said, Henman, that he felt strong again after Sunday, and that's an encouraging sign.
Well, I hope he did. It's another sign, really, of how he's matured mentally, physically. Might have done him a lot of good, John, that match. I mean, he certainly hit a lot of balls in it.
Quiet,
and suffered
thank you.
mentally through all that stress.
15 love.
Well, it wasn't a particularly good lob, because I reckon it was mishit, but
59.
this shot was absolutely correct.
Thursday, 15. All.
Looks as if string is broken there. Sounded like it, certainly, Bill.
Well, I can't believe he missed that smash unless the string broke and delivered the ball too long, because it was a sitter of a smash.
Of course, it's very difficult for the player at the far end when the sun is shining. He haven't had many days like this today, with the sun in your eyes.
(40-30).
Put that down as a half chance.
Game, krajicek. Three games all, first set.
So the spectators there, Jane, Henman, and on the right of your picture there, Tony.
Thank
Tony's
you.
parents having to shield their eyes as well.
Love, 15.
He does get down to those low balls so well for a tall man, making those passes look easy.
(15-all).
I think he might have thought that was a let, but we have a device attached to the net which announces when the ball hits the net on the way past.
Ominously good return by krajicek. Just steering it down the line there.
30 all.
Because one talks a lot about Krajicek's serve, but it was the returning of the serve, particularly against Sampras last year, that was so astonishing, and one saw Sampras shaking his head in disbelief at times.
Well, these inside-out backhands, off-backhand returns are very disconcerting. The server just doesn't want it as he comes in for the volley. Break point.
He's touched the net, but I think the ball had bounced twice. Have a look here very carefully as to when, yes, deuce is being called while we watch this replay. Now, he just pushes it across into the gap, then can't stop, but the ball has now bounced twice. And I think he's all right. Certainly the umpire thought so. And Krajicek didn't query it at all. Wonderful run here and lovely racket control. Oh, just touching it. Deuce.
Advantage henman. Net versus. Dan Henman. Ball change, please.
And the crowd really
Henman
getting...
leads by 4 against 3.
The crowd really getting behind Henman here, who it seems to me, Bill Threlfall, is playing better than he's done at these championships.
Quite agree with you, John. He is, absolutely. It was, you know, it was a magnificent win, the 14-12 win on Sunday, but the tennis, let's face it, was patchy at times, brilliant at times. It was a gutsy performance. But the tennis we've seen today has been sensationally good, I think, by both men. And you have to watch Krajicek here, because he does the full 360 degrees and then it's the ball. It's extraordinary. It's a very clever volley of Henman's to go behind Krajicek there. He must have been disconcerted to see this whirligig going on in front of him. There he goes. And, of course, the eyes come off the ball, so Krajicek, full marks to him for getting his eyes back on the ball and playing a good shot.
Now Krajicek with the sun in his eyes as he serves from the first court.
And the shot of a man who is calm within himself, who is at peace with himself. He looks it to me.
Time.
And the sun now playing a part as the shadow creeps across centre court.
Another calm pass here where Krajicek has to guess and guess too late.
15-all. But henman.
Always looks admirably calm. Says that he doesn't get nervous in these sort of... The crowd is going to try and rouse him, and it could be a case of too much adrenaline.
Absolutely could. But then, remember, John, he came through that cauldron of fire on Sunday, and I can't believe that's going to happen again, perhaps never in his life. And looking at him from close in, he looked calm throughout. It was extraordinary. And he played a beautiful last point here, because I think he's faced with a difficult situation there. It's a low ball and a very tall man waiting to pounce, but he just steered that with a bit of back and side spin down the line. It was a very clever, restrained sort of shot.
Situations.
Game, henman. Henman leads by 2 games 2-1, first sets.
And I think, Bill, Henman is going to have to remain absolutely calm today, because the